Hey guys, what's going on? This is our second video for our video impressions on episodes of TV series. And this set of episodes we're going to be doing is Flash Season 2, Episode 1 and 2. We missed one, so we're going to combine them. So, yeah.
Yeah, so just because since the first episode didn't have a whole lot of content, we just figured 10 minutes would be enough to cover both episodes. But we're going to be spending most of the time on the second episode, just because I feel like a lot more happened in that episode. So, spoiler alert, obviously, if you haven't seen these first two episodes of Flash, I recommend you watch them first. So let's set the timer for 10 minutes, and then we'll get started on our discussion. So here we go. So first episode, let's nail it. So first we have Firestorm. So in the pilot episode, or not pilot, sorry, but in the first episode of the second season, he is dead, apparently. Dead.
Yeah.
But, I mean, he's not really dead. I mean, with these kind of things, they're not really dead until you see a body.
And, Jay Garrick that comes in on the second episode, I guess, he was sucked through the portal, and Ronnie, he was up by like the dimension portal thing, whatever.
The singularity.
Yeah.
So who's to say he didn't get sucked through?
He probably just got sucked through too. So I'm guessing he's in the other Earth.
Yeah, that makes sense.
So, yeah.
Because again, that Legends of Tomorrow TV show, he's in that TV show too. This show that's not even out yet is already spoiling things that are happening in both Flash and Arrow.
Huh.
So
I'm gonna have to watch that again.
Yeah, and then we have just kind of the whole episode was just there wasn't a lot of story because it was just kind of everyone was in different places. Caitlin was working at Mercury Lab. Cisco was working with the police, and so the episode is just about them coming all back together 6 months after the Singularity event that destroyed a lot of the city.
Sort of just all revolved around this new villain called the Atom Smasher, who uses radioaction, I guess, to get really big and strong.
Yeah, he uses like radioactivity to increase his mass or whatever. So, yeah, and that kind of introduced what seems to be like the central villain. What am I trying to say? Where all the villains are coming from are these rips in space time to Earth 2, which is an alternate dimension. And then the last thing we wanted to talk about from episode 1 was the Dr. Wells confession.
Yeah.
And that was kind of cool.
Yeah, I thought it was really cool because he kind of talks about like how much he actually did care about Barry and stuff, and then he tells him, all right, now you need to delete the rest of this. And then he starts saying, I killed Barry's mother and stuff. You can release his dad, I guess, pretty much. And that leads to Barry's dad getting released, and Barry's dad has like a big party, but then he tells him he doesn't want to distract Barry from being the Flash, so he leaves town, I guess.
Yeah, I guess it made sense.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just kind of, I don't know, they've spent so many years apart, and then as soon as they're back together, Barry's dad just kind of skips town and leaves. So that was kind of interesting. But I think did a lot for the episode as a whole. I think it was just cool that that you learned how Dr. Wells, but really Eobard Thawne, really actually cared about Barry as a person and wanted him to be the best he could be. So now we'll move on to episode 2, which was a lot cooler and a lot more sweet. So
a lot of stuff into it, I guess.
Yeah, a lot more content packed. So the first character, the first appearance of Jay Garrick, he kind of introduced himself at the end of the first episode, but in the second episode we really started to get to know him. He's from an alternate universe where he is the Flash, and but he lost his powers in coming through the Singularity, which me and Sam were saying was interesting because all these other villains still have their powers.
Yeah, so I don't know what they're going to do with that, if he really...
Maybe he'll regain them or something, because it's interesting that all these villains are keeping their powers when they come through the portal, and Jay Garrick didn't. It might have something to do with Professor Zoom.
Yeah.
Because he's the one, like, bringing these villains through to kill Flash for him. So maybe he's able to let them keep their powers.
True.
But, I mean, what do you think of Zoom so far?
First of all, Zoom's a pretty cool, like, character. From what we've seen of him, he looks pretty cool.
Yeah. With his black suit and stuff.
Yeah,
the blue lightning
energy that comes off of him.
Yeah.
And then we also thought about the Zoom being in the alternate universe Barry Allen, because Barry Allen's got to be somebody, I guess, there, and it would make sense that he would be another speedster there.
Mm-hmm.
And in that alternate universe, the Zoom wants to destroy all speedsters and be the best speedster there is. And that sort of relates to the Flash. He wants to be the fastest, I guess. I don't know if he wants to destroy everybody else, but definitely wants to be the fastest out there.
I mean, yeah. So we've seen Zoom. We don't know his identity other than just he's this evil guy from an alternate universe, a speedster. So I think it could very well be Barry Allen. But then that also kind of questions. I mean, who is Jay Garrick? Who is Jay Garrick in Earth 1? I mean, is he of any importance, or is he just some random guy out there? We don't know. And they probably won't say, just because Jay Garrick's just meant to be the speedster in this other universe, and so they'll focus on Jay Garrick of Earth 2.
Mm-hmm.
Cisco had a lot more focus on him and his powers this episode. His powers were basically,
Visions,
what am I trying to say?
Guess?
Yeah, his visions, like, because of him, they were able to take down Sand Demon, which was kind of the villain this episode. If it wasn't for him, and his visions, they wouldn't have known about the concussive bomb or how to take down Sand Demon.
Yeah, and Cisco's powers came from the accelerator also, because Dr. Wells kind of brought that up to him, saying how he thought Cisco was affected by it. So
but they just didn't manifest later.
I guess we'll find out what it goes into.
Yeah.
What did you say his name? Vibe?
Vibe, yeah. In the comics, Cisco Ramon is a hero called Vibe, who is not only able, I guess, to have visions, but also able to, like, make shockwaves, you know? So, I mean, maybe we'll see some of that later, but who knows? I mean, it's interesting how he's one of the only people that doesn't want his powers. I mean, he doesn't want to tell anyone about them. He doesn't want to use them at all because he doesn't want to see what he's seeing.
He feels like he's going to become evil with them.
Yeah, that's probably
he's
that's
creation
probably
of Dr. Wells, he said, and anything that Dr. Wells did was evil. So
yeah. So I bet we'll see a lot more of his powers being developed. Next, Sand Demon. He was an interesting villain. The special effects were pretty good with the sand.
Yeah.
You know,
not a lot on him. Just, I guess.
Yeah, just a typical villain of the week kind of episode. So, guess we'll see about that, about how that plays out in future episodes. If for the whole season they'll continue to do villain of the week, or if they'll start, or when they'll start focusing on Zoom more. But for now, I like this. I like the fact that there's all these different breaches to Earth 2 around Central City, and these villains aren't metahumans from Earth 1 anymore.
Yeah.
They're metahumans from Earth 2. So that's kind of cool. So we also want to talk about a couple Easter eggs real quick that were in the second episode of Flash. First, Cisco describes his powers as feeling like a vibe. That's not the exact quote, but he describes them as a vibe, which obviously is his name from the comics, as we just mentioned.
He also, we see a little bit of the Green Arrow announcing his name, and Cisco kind of just says, "Oh, green, I hate when they add colors into it." That's another little fun
crossover kind of thing.
Yeah.
Another Easter egg was the shot when after they defeat Sand Demon and Patty Spivot is laying on the ground and she says "Flash," and then they both say coming and run around opposite sides of that brick column. I mean, you may have noticed it because it stuck out as kind of a weird shot, but that's because that shot of them running around the brick column is in, I think it's called an homage, reference to this comic issue cover that what came out years and years ago, where this person on the cover is yelling, "Flash, help me!" And Jay Garrick and Barry Allen both come running to him and say, "I'm coming," because that was the first. I think it was like the issue where Barry Allen first met Jay Garrick in the comics. So I thought that was kind of cool. Last of all, we wanted to talk about the end scene with Dr. Wells. I mean, we see the central city of Earth 2, which looks a whole lot more technologically advanced.
All because Dr. Wells lives in that universe because he had plans of creating a building that would help make the world thrive.
Yeah, and you see like a monorail, and just the whole city looks way more... Oh, there's our timer. Okay, last comments about this, but so that hopefully means that we'll see Wells come back to Earth 1 and just see his character again, which I'm glad.
I hope so, because I like Dr. Wells' character.
Yeah, he's just a cool guy, so hopefully we'll see more of him. Alright, so guess...
rate one episode and then the second episode?
Yeah, so I'll give the first episode... Again, I'll give it a little higher than I did with the season premiere of Arrow. I'll give it I think I gave the Arrow premiere a 7, but I'll give this one a 7.5, just because it was a little better, because it didn't... I mean, I don't want to compare it to Arrow, but it didn't have as many, annoying character conflicts that were getting old. It didn't have any weird transitions between the season finale and the season premiere. So I thought it was a good episode, but it just didn't progress the story a lot. It just kind of caught you up to what happened since the Singularity. But it was still a good episode with introducing these new characters and concepts.
I'm going to give it a 7.5 also, because it's a pretty good episode, but it's just a normal average episode, and nothing very big happens, I guess, that we can really understand until the second episode. So
for the second episode, I think I'll give my rating probably an 8.5, because we had Jay Garrick, who's a cool character. We had Barry learn to throw lightning, which was pretty cool. We learned about more about Cisco's powers, how they're developing more. Introducing the parallel worlds concept, expanding on that more and introducing it for the rest of the season, and the end scene with Dr. Wells hopefully coming back. So I think it was a A+ episode, 8.5.
I'm going to give it a big 9, I guess, because I also thought it was a great episode. Adds in a new characters, Patty Spivot and Jay Garrick. Two characters that I think are going to be pretty cool, and just overall really cool, complicated episode because it's got so much in it, but all that stuff in it I just really enjoyed and want to find out what they're going to do with it for the rest of the season. Hey guys, thanks for watching that video. Hope you guys liked it. If you did, don't forget to like it and subscribe to our channel.
Make sure to look forward to future review and discussion videos. Tell us what you thought about the latest episode in the comments, and we hope you stick with us for our other review and discussion videos.
Thanks for watching.
Bye!